we're still working on our jingle bells. Or ornamental bells, as the pattern says on the Yarn Inspirations website. Ornamental bells. You can use Patons Classic Wool or Patons Decor or any worsted weight yarn you have in your stash. And that's what I'm using. I'm using just a old red worsted weight yarn I've had forever. And I've got a little bell up inside each one. So I'm going to ring my bells. Now I'm ready to make the leaf that's going to go on top. So to make the leaf you need green yarn, any worsted weight green yarn you have. And this is an ancient green yarn I had in my box of yarn. Who knows where it came from. I've had it forever. To make a leaf, we're going to have to make two, just like we made two bells. Now we're going to make two leaves. To make a leaf with green, cast on 15 stitches, so we need a little bit more than we had in the last. Making the bell we only needed 12, now we need 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I might not have enough. I think I need to start over. I didn't have enough yarn. I'll come back here. Give myself some extra. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you can use any kind of cast on method you want. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. There, that's better. Now I have my 15 stitches. And the first row says knit 6, knit 3 together, knit 6. So make sure you're knitting with the long piece and not with the little short tail. Knit 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then knit 3 together. Hold the camera back a little bit. Knit 3 together. Instead of just knitting one stitch, I'm knitting all 3 of these into one stitch. So make sure you come past 3 and then you run your needle up through all 3 of those, just like that. So you see how I'm going through all 3, and then I wrap it, and then I'm going to pull that thing that I wrapped down through all 3 of those stitches, and then I take it off. That was knit 3 together. Now I'm going to knit 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that was row 1. Now I'm ready for row 2. It says cast off 3 stitches. So this is where you have to pay attention. I'm going to knit 1. I'm going to knit another. And now I have cast off 1. 1 is cast off. I knit another. And now 2 is cast off. And I knit another. Now 3 is cast off. Now it says knit to the end of the row. Knit to the end of the row. It's easy. So you know we started off with 15 stitches, right? Well, when we did that knit 3 together, that got rid of 3. Well, it turned it down to 1. Turned 3 into 1. And then we just cast off 3 on the next row. So now let's count and see how many stitches we have. Ooh, I'm about to sneeze. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. You should have 10 stitches after the second row. So I'm going to write that down here. 10 stitches. Now I have 10 stitches. Now the third row, cast off 3 stitches, just like we did before. So I knit, have to knit another one before I can cast off one. So there's one cast off. I knit another one. There's 2 cast off. Knit another one. And there's 3 cast off. Now, I'm on the third row. It says knit 2, including the stitch on the needle after cast off. So you see, I already have the first knit done, is what they're saying. I only need to knit one more. So I'm going to knit one more. So now there's 2 that have been knit. So that instruction could be confusing for some people. They might say, well, why don't they just say knit 1? Which, in effect, it should be. So you have 2 on your right needle now, because you had 1 left over after you cast off and you knit 1 more. That's going to be the knit 2 that they were talking about. Now we're going to knit 3 together. So 1, 2, 3. Run your needle up through there. This is a hard stitch to do. I'd say this is probably the hardest part of the whole pattern, doing a knit 3 together. But once you learn how to do a knit 3 together, you'll be alright. Knit 3 together. Now it says knit 2, and that's exactly what I have left here. Knit 2. So now we have 5 stitches left on the needle. So let's write that down. After the third row, we have 5 stitches. Now, 4th and 5th row, cast on 3 stitches, and then knit to the end of the row. So now I need to cast on 3 stitches at the beginning of this row, and some people don't understand how to do that. So let me show you one way of doing it. Here's one way. You can knit on some stitches. So to do that, you just do like you're knitting, and then instead of pulling off that stitch, you put this stitch on the needle. There's one. Pull it through. It's called a knitted cast on. And I think that's what I would recommend for this. So I had 5 to start with. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I've cast on 2. I need 1 more. That's why I wrote that 5 stitches up there, so I'd remember how many stitches I had, so I would be able to count and figure out for sure that I had cast on 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yay! Now I cast on the 3. I need to knit to the end of the row, so I need to start knitting with those stitches that I just cast on. So now I'm knitting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So now we have 8 stitches. So at the end of the 4th row, so I'm going to write it right here where it says 4th, I have 8 stitches. 8 stitches. Now I have to do the same thing for the 5th row. So I'm going to have to cast on 3 stitches again. So I'm going to do my knitted cast on again. I'm going to wrap my yarn, pull it through, put it on the left needle. There's one. There's two. And there's three. So now I should have 11, I think. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. Yay! Knit to the end of the row. So I'm going to knit those stitches that I just cast on and knit all the way through to the end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's always interesting to me to see how designers come up with patterns like this. They're just smart people. So now I have 11 stitches. So I'm going to write 11 stitches after the 5th row. Now I'm ready for row 6. Now if you ever get confused about which row you're on, you can like check it off as you go, or you can use a little row counter like this, so that you can turn it into each time you finish a row, you would turn it like that. Just a little row counter. Or you can use a row counter like this that clicks and it shows the number every time you click it. Use whatever you want. I just always write on my pattern. Okay, now I'm ready for row 6. Now row 6 says cast off 3 stitches. So we're going to take off those 3 that we added. So cast off 1. Cast off 2. Cast off 3. Knit to the end of the row. There, that was row 6. So let's see how many stitches we have now. 2, 4, 6, 8. So at the end of row 6, we have 8 stitches. Now I'm ready for row 7. Cast off 3 stitches. 1, cast off 2, cast off 3. Now it says knit 1, including the stitch on the needle after the cast off. So that means you don't do anything, because there's the 1 stitch. Knit 3 together. 1, 2, 3. Here's that crazy stitch again. It's hard to do. There's no easy way to do it. Knit 3 together. I guess you could use a crochet hook, maybe it would help. There, knit 3 together. Knit 1. Now I have 3 stitches on the needle. So after the 7th row, we have 3 stitches. Eighth and 9th row, cast on 2 stitches and knit to the end of the row. So I'm going to cast on 1. No, wrong. I about pulled it off. There, that was a cast on 1. And cast on 2. There. So I had 3 stitches, now I have 5. Now it says knit to the end of the row. Knit to the end of the row. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. So after the 8th row, I have 2, 3, 4, 5. So after 8, I have 5 stitches. The 9th row, cast on 2 stitches, knit to the end of the row. And 2, knit to the end of the row. So now let's see how many stitches we have. 2, 4, 6, 7. After the 9th row, we have 7 stitches. Now we're ready for the 10th row. 10th row, cast off 2 stitches. Knit to the end of the row. One, 2, knit to the end of the row. Now I have 5 stitches. So after row 10, I have 5 stitches. Row 11. Cast off 2 stitches. One, 2, knit to the end of the row. Now I have 3 stitches. So after row 11, I have 3 stitches. 12th row, knit 3. So they're just confirming that yes, you have 3 stitches on this row. So that makes me feel good. I got it right. 13th row, knit 3 together and fasten off. I hate these knit 3 togethers. They're a drag. Especially when that's all you have on the needle is 3 stitches. Whoa, that's hard. I think a little skinny crochet hook would be helpful there. I'm going to try that. I'm going to try using a little skinny crochet hook. I've got one sitting right here. See if I can do a knit 3 together with that. This is an experiment. You are watching a live experiment. Let's see if I can get this up through all 3 of them without having a catastrophe on my hands. Pull that through. See if I can pull it through. I like that. Oh, yeah. That's awesome. Pull it through. Nice. So that's a nice little trick. I like that. Then it says fasten off. Hey, this kind of looks like a little Christmas tree, doesn't it? Isn't that sweet? So I'm going to cut my yarn. And I'm going to pull that yarn end through. That little crochet hook helps for that part too. That's a little teeny size C crochet hook. Alright, so now my leaf is ready to have the ends woven in. So you can just pick a side. They both look exactly the same. I'm going to get my I'm using a different needle this time. It's got a bigger hole. It's a darning needle. This is a yarn darning needle that I found in my drawer a second ago. It has a point, a sharp point. It's very different from the other needles I usually use for weaving in ends, and I like it because it has that sharp point. I can run my yarn through places that I don't usually run it through. I like it because it's got that sharp point. Yeah. So now pull that out so it's not stretched out of proportion. There. That's nice. I like that. And I'm just going to trim it. I'm not going to run it back through because I don't want it to make it bulky. Now this end over here needs to come through. What is that? I think it comes. Yeah, that's sweet. I like this little thing. It really does look like little holly leaves. Little holly leaves. That's sweet. I think it would probably look good to make those leaves with a thinner yarn and a smaller hook, because I think a smaller leaf would look good on this design. There. What I think I might do is run this through right up here at the edge and use this to secure it. And I'm going to just leave this here to hook it onto the bell. So I'm just going to run it through up here, straight across like that. There. I've got one little leaf hooked on now. So now all I have left to do, I'm going to leave that end hanging there, is make another leaf. And I'll hook it that way, and I'll have the two leaves coming out to the side. That'll be pretty. Got little jingle bells inside there. That'll be a pretty little decoration. You could hang it on a Christmas tree, or you could decorate a gift with it. And I think it's pretty just with the one leaf and the one bell. It's nice. Anyway, I'm going to make my other leaf. So I'll see you in the next video when I put them all together. Talk to you later. Bye.